With the strong shift in the real estate market over the last 6 to 9 months, many people are questioning, will we see a foreclosure crisis? If that's you, stay tuned for Redfin's underwater prediction for 2023 right after this. Hi, I'm Kevin Grolig. I'm a real estate agent with Compass located in Potomac, Maryland. Thanks once again for checking out the latest video in my series, Real Kevin. I am a native of Montgomery County, Maryland, and specialize in helping people move to and from within Montgomery County, as well as I absolutely love to help people relocate into Montgomery County, which is the place I call home. So I'm asked all the time, Kevin, has the bubble burst, and will we see a foreclosure crisis in 2023? Today, I'm going to cover a recent study from Redfin Economists. Much of this data will tip you off to what you can expect around the country, as well as in our own backyard in Montgomery County, Maryland. So, with all that being said, let's break it down. Number one, Redfin is predicting a nationwide decline in home values in 2023 of 4%. As we know, when it comes to real estate, everything is local. So there will be some areas that will outperform the nationwide averages and some that will lag behind. Number two, assuming a 4% decline in home values, just 3 in 100 pandemic buyers will be underwater with their mortgage. What this means is 3% of the pandemic buyers will owe more on their home than the value of their home. Redfin also went on to say that if home values drop nationwide by 8% in 2023, that's still only 6.3% of the pandemic buyers would still be underwater on their home. Now let's take a more positive outlook. If the market just simply remains flat nationwide in 2023, only 1.6% of the pandemic buyers nationwide would be underwater with their home. This study is according to a Redfin analysis of county sale records purchased from January 2021 through September of 2022. The number 3 takeaway on this Redfin report also notes that homeowners who purchased during this time are likely to have historically low fixed interest rates and good enough credit to meet tight lending guidelines. Even though they haven't owned their homes for long, these homeowners are likely to have a very strong equity position. Many of these buyers placed large down payments and benefited from skyrocketing home prices. This is especially true for those buyers purchasing in 2021. Number 4, Redfin predicts a foreclosure crisis is highly unlikely. Even with expected nationwide price decline, a 2023 housing downturn will come nowhere near the foreclosure crisis we saw during the Great Recession. Even if a home buyer is at risk of falling behind in their mortgage payments in 2023, let's say they lose a job or inflation has taken away a good chunk of their savings, having home equity means that they can afford to sell their home instead of facing foreclosure. It's also worth noting that not very many Americans are expected to lose jobs during 2023. Number 5, homeowners in popular pandemic destinations and expensive West Coast cities are at a higher risk of falling underwater. The study shows that just over 9% of Sacramento would be underwater with a 4% decline in home values. Next comes areas like San Francisco, San Jose, Oakland, and Seattle. These areas expect to see underwater rates somewhere between 6.3 and 7.4% by the end of 2023. Number 6, homeowners in Florida are even less likely to fall underwater. With a 4% price drop in 2023, less than 0.5% of Floridians will be underwater with their homes. Areas like Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and West Palm Beach are the only U.S. metros included in this analysis where nearly 0 homeowners will be underwater. As I mentioned earlier, all real estate is local. So, how does this apply to the DMV and Montgomery County, Maryland specifically? First, let me say I 100% agree with the predictions in this study nationwide. While I would never say that DMV and Montgomery County are recession-proof, it is safe to say that we are much better insulated than most areas of the country in a declining market. This is mainly due to many large employers in tech, biotech, healthcare, hospitality, and of course the federal government. Plentiful employments with well-paying jobs and high-quality school districts will always create demand for the area, which in turn will keep home values from plummeting. It's also important to mention that home inventory is extremely low and expected to stay low throughout 2023. Many homeowners are staying put. They're simply unwilling to move from their 3% mortgage rate to move across town to get into 6 or 7%. Let's face it, over the last few years, we've seen a lot of want-to sellers. These are homeowners that, under a whim, just said, you know what, I'm gonna move to the beach. I'm gonna move to Florida. We're seeing less and less of that these days. What we're starting to see is more have-to sellers, people that got a relocation, people that are going through either a death or a divorce. These are people that have to move, not necessarily want to move. Once again, even though some of them may be facing some pretty tough situations, the majority of them have significant home equity. And these homes will never come close to foreclosure or short sale. The good news for home buyers is even though the rates have gone up significantly, the market slowdown will give home buyers the ability to take their time, potentially negotiate price and terms, and buy a home the right way. The right way is simply having more time to make better and more informed decisions. Ultimately, while I do see a softening in the real estate market in 2023, don't expect to see foreclosures sharply on the rise. If you found this video helpful and you either agree or disagree, I'd love to get a comment from you. Also, you can give me a thumbs up, share the video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that bell icon to be notified when I post new videos. If you have more specific questions about the real estate market or your personal situation, feel free to hit me up direct by text at 240-793-7495. Thanks once again for checking out the latest video in my series, Real Kevin. See you next week.